Alright folks, and welcome back to the channel. It's time for post-match reaction following Celtic for St Johnstone now as Celtic extend the gap at the top once again to 14 points to end the year on a high. I'm joined by Alistair. How you doing, Alistair, after that one?
Nice, Josh. Very cold outside. -14 below, for God's sake.
I know it fucking was windy enough the other day, man. I was
Yeah, it
blowing
was.
off half feet, man, coming out. But Alistair, I thought a really good performance was today. Obviously going to the repercussions in a minute, but I thought if you're like going with our performance, I thought it was a really good performance. I thought we were really quick off the blocks. We were um really quick, and we've spoke about the lack of pace in the performances over the last kind of few weeks, but I thought today we were on top, and we started the game really well. The opening kind of 20 minutes, it was just kind of lack of cutting edge. But I thought you always knew a goal was going to come.
You certainly did, and I actually said to you a couple of times, even though we were only one up, I was saying, this feels different. I mean, I don't normally do this, but I thought the St. Johnstone keeper, I
Yeah,
mean,
I thought it had a good
He
game.
was really good, and if it wasn't for him, maybe you're talking double the scoreline, and that's no exaggeration.
Aye, last week we were critical of some players, but I thought every player on the park today, was really good. Really direct, including Yang, who I thought was it was unlucky. I thought he good positions. His dribbling was really good. He was really up for it, and that's what frustrates me about Yang. And I've always made that clear. Is it's just I don't think he's necessarily a bad football player. I just don't think I think he's missing one of probably the biggest thing you need to be a football player, and that's end product, especially in the attacking areas.
End
But
product and composure, I would say,
Aye,
Joe.
I think so. But I think we were really, as I said, it was just kind of that end product where we're lacking. But we were kind of cutting through it well. But obviously these games can get quite stuffy. And that ironically, Rangers provided the first half entertainment at times, but
Yeah, very.
but you're thinking, right, let's focus here, right? We know what's going on at Fir Park, but we need to get our job done. We've seen what can happen if you look too far ahead. But you've got no doubts. And normally I'm the one. It's when we don't score after half an hour. I'm thinking, oh no. But see, to be honest with you, I was like the day I was like, it's coming. Don't worry about it because you could see it. You could see it was coming. I think when other games where it's been really tight, and you're thinking, right, we're not playing well enough here, but we were playing well. It was just about adding that final, you know,
They were playing at a nice pace, Joe. And
aye,
doing it, Alex Valley was making the runs I expect to be able to make in an attacking sense against your St Johnstone's. Any home game may be out with. No, I'm going to say any home game in the league, we should be able to do that, Josh, and that's
aye.
no arrogance. But
Well, I think if you're up against a team who are going to sit them in behind the ball, which St Johnstone, Ross County, or somebody like that are going to do, then I don't think you need that defensive coverage so much with Taylor because I think Vai is much better at attacking going forward. I think he's shown that this season. Um, I think he's first shot like he's just a lot quicker. I still don't know about his end product. I've not seen enough of him yet to really make a judgment on that. But also, as we've mentioned, the other team, Maida was rested, which I thought was pretty.
yeah, well, we did say we're going to have to rest Maeda on a great deal. We're really going to have to. The good thing is, Josh, with us having loads of points as a cushion now, we can no relax because you can never relax as a Celtic team or a Celtic player. but you can mix and match now, and that doesn't mean that we shouldn't strengthen in January also. But I do agree with you. But the I like the balance of the team today. Now, granted, it's St Johnstone, and you can't, with all due respect, you can't take a great deal against a home match against St Johnstone. With all respect to them, but
Aye,
you have to, I have to be honest and be able to comment what was said. But I do think the balance in the midfield, and I really like the balance today.
aye. Well, obviously the captain dropped out, Callum McGregor. If I'm going to be honest with you, I was calling for it for a few weeks now. Not because obviously I'm not saying you need to drop the captain or anything, but I do think Callum McGregor. I wanted to maybe see the midfield was in day. Bernardo obviously coming in, Hatate, Arna Engels, and we got that midfield. I think it was important we gave Callum McGregor a rest because I'm kind of sick of saying it. I think he plays far too much football.
Yeah,
Obviously, he's been brilliant for us, and I think, but sometimes I think we need to, and I think that was a perfect game today. Especially when you've got players like Bernardo and Hatate. As we've said, the midfield is always a talking point every single week when we go to the games, but I think when you've got players like Bernardo, you've got Engels there, you've got McCowan. I think it's the one position where you could not afford to drop like McGregor, but I think if he was dropped, I'd be like, right, we've got players there. And we say like Alan Engels, he's starting to come into the game now. You
yeah, because
know,
he's getting sharper. I've
aye,
noticed that.
Hatate was on a game today. All three of them getting an assist as well. So it was good to see that kind of different kind of type of midfield. And I thought as you've said there, the caveat is it's St Johnstone, so you can't. I don't think you can look too far into it. But it was nice to see that a bit more of variety kind of in that midfield, and obviously it gives Callum McGregor a rest. When obviously we'll start on Thursday against Rangers. But
Yeah,
I thought, you know, I'm going to the one man I'm going to talk about. We've talked about him so much this season. Nicholas Kuhn, he was honestly, he every time he's on the ball, he gets me off my seat. He is just
yeah, and
so good.
the link up play between him and Johnson is a joy to watch. It
Aye,
really is. I mean, that's that's been overlooked, Josh. I believe how good a partnership they have. I've not seen a partnership down the right hand side for years like that. I really
aye.
haven't.
And I think when I don't want to bring him up a lot, but when Jota left, we were trying out for that winger that you always want a good winger. I think we've got two really good wingers now because Maida's come on and he's added so much to his game as well.
Yeah,
But Kuhn every time he gets on that ball, it's just something's going to happen. You really do. There was, he gets the goal today. Hatate plays the ball through, and Kyogo's square, but you just know he's gone for this. Puts it in the back, then no bother. Then a few minutes later, he nearly curls one right in the top corner, man, which nearly
very
meant he won. But
Leipzig. It was
aye,
almost a carbon copy of the Leipzig goal.
and it was only denied causing a brilliant save for St Johnstone goalkeeper. But he's absolutely brilliant, and what? All credit to him because he was. A lot of people had him on the way out, if we're being honest,
Yeah. I
because he
mean,
just
put this in perspective about Nicholas Quinn. He's not been here a year.
aye, and he's
Put that in perspective. We got him late on in January, I think. Or was
late
it
on.
midway through January?
Well, I think it was
Anyway, on you go.
I think it was just midway through, but I just
That's what I
think
mean. He's not even been here a year, Josh. And look at the improvement.
it's tremendous. It really is, and he's clearly spoken many times about the importance of pre-season. Obviously, it's been massively important for him. I think he had problems when he came here. I think a lot of people underestimate adapting to a new country, adapting to a new style of play. He had a lot to adapt to, and coming midway through a season. By the way, get it up that fucking whatever he's Austrian fucking expert that had on
Yeah,
Super Scoreboard.
said, said he was,
Shite,
and
pretty
I
much.
quote, not at the level.
Well, get it up, you. Um. Anyway, so I mean, but these experts.
You're no, you're no in Leipzig's academy, you're no in Ajax's academy if you're a bad player.
And you know what? He's been consistent, and that's the thing. He's not just there was a 2 week, 3 week drop off, but behave yourself.
And trust me, to find a consistent winger is bloody hard to do.
Aye,
So if you've got one, they're like hen's teeth.
I've got two. I think. I think generally,
Yeah,
and I'm going to go on to Dyson Maiden later on, but I think getting at half time, you're just looking for that second goal. As I said, when they're Rangers two down at Fir Park, you're thinking, right, we just need to do our job. You know what will happen at Fir Park will happen at Fir Park. We get into the second half, Alistair. I actually thought St Johnstone started pretty well the first 5-10 minutes.
yeah.
I thought they were getting a lot more forward. I don't think Schmeichel ever really had any bother
Well,
really, but
I was going to say this. The Murrow game and today, Casper Schmeichel's no the save. Literally know how to touch the ball and either he's came for crosses obviously, but he's never had a save to do in 2 games. But I'm going to say this, Josh, and I apologise for going off on a tangent here. 18 games into the season, 15 clean sheets for Casper Schmeichel. Now, if if a certain other goalkeeper at the other side of the city, Mr. Butland, had that, well, and I'm not having a go here because we all remember what happened when Jack Butland replaced Alan McGregor, or Butland's this, Butland's that, Butland's the other. I just feel like Casper Schmeichel's been overlooked.
I think partly I think it's because how big a name Casper Schmeichel is, and I think people are just like, well, that's what he's meant to do, really. I think, and I do agree with you. I thought you look at last season. Don't get me wrong, Butland had a good season last season, but I think at times he was, overhyped, if I'm being honest. And I think this season's starting to show it. But you're just looking for that second goal. We did think we had the second goal. It was good
I've
link up.
seen it, Josh.
It's,
Kyogo's offside. What
it's
you
Kyogo
said.
outside. Because we weren't really sure on the ground what was kind of going on, as usual with fucking VAR. But, you're thinking it's Johnson offside. Didn't look offside to me. Then, it deflects off. And so, but I didn't actually know about the phase before, obviously, with Kyogo. So it's a clear offside, obviously. There's no complaints there. But we do eventually get the second goal. And it's a ball in
The
from.
corner,
Aye.
unbelievably.
It's a corner, and then I think it's a good ball in for Hatate. And then he puts over to Bernardo, kind of lays it off to Hatate. Hatate puts it in. Bernardo probably should finish. And I said this throughout the game today. Kyogo needs to want to get off his backside now. Probably wasn't his backside, but a goal kind of like that, where
Yeah.
he couldn't. There's no way he could miss it, and that's what it was. And it was good to see Kyogo,
You
getting on
could
the
see
pitch.
the relief in the wee guy's face. You could
Aye,
see the relief in the guy's face. But
aye.
and I'm hoping that kind of relaxes him for future games, Josh.
Aye, well, I
And
think I think to get that goal then, and obviously get two today, I think it's massively important. The second one, is it's a fantastic ball in from Engels, and Kyogo. That's the ball that Kyogo wants,
yeah,
and it's no rocket science when he gets a good ball in the box in that position. Kyogo's lethal.
yeah.
He is. He's absolutely
That's the
lethal in that
service
position.
he needs. There's
Aye,
no point crossing crosses into Kyogo. And I did notice today, Josh, with a lot of the corners, they were taking them short to kind of pull players out to them. And I
I
thought
think
that was a good move.
I think our corners are on. They look like they're improving, which is a good sign. I think they have been. They must have been working on them in training because I think it's we're starting to see a bit more because realistically, it's getting to the point now. So we get a corner, you're like just getting the goal kick back.
Yeah.
Um,
Or even just overhit it and let the boy on the other side close it. And I mean, to be honest, at Tannadice, the last time we dropped points, we'd about must have been about at least 19, 20 corners, and nothing was coming from them because
aye,
we kept trying to put them in on top of the keeper, and they were being defended easily. So at least there were a bit of gumption used about today's corner kicks. I will
I,
say.
uh, I want to discuss a bit about Arnie Ingles because yet again I thought he was superb. Um, I thought it was brilliant. I thought he just overall play. He could realistically if had a goal as well. It was a good save from the goalkeeper.
Yeah,
But
I just lacked actually.
I was watching the highlights back and just I was kind of focusing on the positions that on the highlights that we've seen. I was focusing on positions and Engels was always trying to look at space. I think he was more in a defensive role then. I think that is for me that's Arnie Engels' role. I
It's
think
a number 8, Joy. It's
I
a
think
number 8.
if you look at him, as I said, if you look at him when he played at Augsburg, he was more kind of breaking up the play. Tall. Maybe not quite as
And
physical.
quick with the diagonal passes.
Aye, so then diagonal putting it through to maybe like a Bernardo or trying to, and I think we saw that with Kyogo's second goal today. But I thought it was outstanding today. I think he's starting to really kind of gel. I think the time he had out the squad, I think's helped him as well. He was talking, obviously, spoke after the game on Thursday against Motherwell, where he was good as well. And people were asking him like, how he settled in. He's like, I'm settling in well. I'm just trying to focus. I think I think everybody, most Celtic fans with a level mind has kind of just said let him develop. And I think we're starting to see the Arnie Engels that, he's starting to really gel into the team. You can see that. And you've seen it with David, Kyogo's goal. That's he's I made that kind of partnership, and it was brilliant to see because as I've made it clear, I think he's had some of the criticism has been absolutely wild.
It's been over the top.
But yet again, he has done really well. And if he can put a performance in like that on Thursday, then we could be really laughing. And I think he'll just keep getting better. He's a young guy, and that's a good thing. He'll just continue to grow under Brendan Rodgers, and I wouldn't want a better manager to try and develop into that player.
Yeah, I mean, let's be completely honest here. We are in a fortunate position, Joy, that the players we have now, from a Celtic point of view, can 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 just play. I mean, there's the hard work, the hard the hard work's been done. That doesn't mean you drop your level.
I think the
But
biggest thing is going to be for the Celtic side is just making sure complacency doesn't creep in. Um,
yeah,
and I think we shouldn't be getting complacent no matter how big the points gap is, because you want to try and pick up as many points as you can. You
yeah.
want to try and win as much as you
If
can.
I
So
told you we'd be sitting here after 18 games in the 50-point mark, you would have said that's a wee bit unrealistic. But
aye,
we are, and as like I said at the top of the podcast, Josh, I don't honestly think this this club, this squad of players can do much more than they've been doing. It's a brilliant first half of the season, and let's see if we can continue because I'm going to be honest with you, Josh. I think there's more to come for this team.
I think the team is just growing, and you've got young players like Engels, Bernardo, you know, and we say young players, but especially a player like Bernardo, he's got such a maturity about him as a player. I really do like players like Bernardo. You've got Vi. He might not be your player, but he's a young kind of player. Kuhn, a young kind of player. Maida, he's young. He's not like really young, but he's still kind of But what I'm trying to say is there's a real kind of hunger in this squad. I think it's always been spearheaded by Rodgers. I think he's the hunger. I think, and he's the mentality setter. And players are always want to play, and that's brilliant. It really is. Alistair, a fourth goal was from the man I just kind of briefly spoke about there. Dyson Maida, really good finish again. And I
He
think his
likes that run, I've noticed. A lot of
aye,
his goals are like that.
and I think he's another person, like another player who's got under the radar. He's got 12 goals and 5 assists this season for a
Yeah,
winger. Is It's really good, and Maida just doesn't bring. A big complaint about Maida for years was he will press the hell out of you, but he can blaze a ball into Clyde, or he could blaze it in
yeah,
the top corner. And I look back on pops up on Twitter, and it was like 2 years since we won that game at Hibs. Remember, Moy scored whatever.
yeah.
Um,
The 4-0 game. Yeah,
and it
we
was, and it kind of encapsulated Maida as a player back then. Was he would miss what he's still one of the worst missing I've
his
ever seen. And then he
his
scores.
goal that night was just
Aye. But I think
was
that's been I think that's been eradicated out of his game. I think he's a proven finisher. His composure is a lot better. His technical ability is a lot better. That's what I'm saying earlier on. We've got two wingers now, and I'd want maybe 3 or 4 wingers who are
uh,
constantly.
I want another winger.
But if you're talking about our two key wingers in Maida and Kuhn, they're both contributing really well. Their stats are really well. And if you can get these strikers, contributing a bit more, Kyogo with 2 goals a day, he'd are unlucky, I thought, with a few of the balls just weren't sitting for him. But if we can get a front three like that, it could get scary, to be honest.
Yeah,
And I think that's another reason why we shouldn't be selling Kyogo in January. I think it's important that we keep the continuity about the squad.
I
No,
don't I don't
no,
think we'll sell anybody in
uh,
January. Josh.
I think it's important we don't, because I think it's important the continuity and the bonding that's been built and is being built in the squad.
I
There was
say anybody, Josh. I mean first team players,
aye,
a first
um,
team starters, I should say.
because even if you look at the press conference after Engels and Q were going to be laughing at it's stuff. I know it's weird, like small things, but it's things that you want to see, because it's like it. They probably know Q was probably not been doing really well, and you could see after the second goal they were all kind of clapping him, and Johnstone was like, so you want to see stuff like that just to get the confidence back up. But I think it's, as you've said there, Alistair. We have been tremendous all year. Bit of difficulty probably after the end of last at the end of last year going into 2024, where we weren't great. Let's be honest about it. But what, we pulled through and we managed to win the double. And then we've just get so much
I
better
think.
from.
Do you know what I think's helped us? And I don't take a lot of credit. I don't take a lot of credence out of pre-season, but I think the American tour actually helped us.
I
The
think it put.
standard the teams we were playing.
I think it was the standard teams we were playing, but I also think it really fast tracked Rodgers' ideas to the squad. Maybe players who, and I think that's what we've seen at the start of, the Christmas last year was, I don't think a lot of players, like, I'm not going to bring them up, but David Turnbull just didn't want to be there. Let's be
Didn't
honest
buy
about it.
it.
Nat Phillips, awful, like players like that, who I just didn't buy. I don't think bought into what Rodgers was trying to do.
I
Um,
believe he was there this time last year. Oh,
and
that's
you look
good.
at it, And you look at the improvement. We've got Scales in that position now, Trusty and Vickers. Look at the midfield improvement. It's night and day. We went from David Turnbull to fucking Arnie Engels.
Paulo Bernardo.
Aye, Paulo Bernardo, who wasn't getting a look in last season, now he's one of the mainstays in that team. Luke McCowan, he's better than
And
David
you can
Turnbull.
rest your captain. Couldn't
Aye,
have done that last time last
no,
year.
no, he
Couldn't have.
couldn't have. Because I do think, and I'm going to use Turnbull because I never rated him as a player personally. Look, everyone in midfield that we have got at this club at the moment is 10 times better than midfield that David Turnbull was. Even Luke McCowan, he's a better player than Turnbull. He's quicker, he's just more
It's
skilled.
quicker than thought. It's quicker
Um,
than thought.
but as you said, Alistair, 2 defeats all year
I think
is
it's two. I think it's. I know it's definitely 2 defeats, Josh, but I would love to know, is it 9 points? I think it is.
I think so. If you look at it, if you're bringing it, so you've got Hearts, which is 3, Dortmund another 3 or 6, and then you've got the only 2 other times I've dropped points this season.
It's 9 points in the league and 3 in the
All right,
Champions
the
League.
league, right? Okay, so so
Yeah.
the league you'd be looking at the free straw or the moral victory.
Yeah,
Uh,
how
the mo-
stupid's that looking at the moment? And I don't want to blow smoke up my own arse here, but I did say that'll come back and bite
aye,
like
so
full in the arse, and it did.
I think we'll do a video before, like obviously in the year, just looking back on the year. But like you, I said that I actually watched it in here with Nathan at the time, and we were all kind of deflated, and I was like, that'll come back, and that's when I really thought, we've got this. I says that'll come back and bite them
I
really in the
think the
backside.
reason I don't want to go back to the free game, Josh, but I'll just say this. I think the reason we were deflated is because that first half is as good as I've ever seen us play at Ibrox. Had it been 4-0, I don't think any Rangers fan could have argued.
Aye,
However, they come back and got a free straw, but it was a triumphalism coming out of Ibrox, and I thought that puts unnecessary pressure on
aye,
teams. I wouldn't have been happy if Brendan Rodgers had done
I've been fuming.
that at Celtic Park. I really wouldn't have.
Um, Aye, but Alistair, as I said, we'll go with in another video about the year that we've had. But I think it's been a fantastic year. I think it's all been spearheaded by Rodgers.
Yeah.
A lot of people doubted him when he came back. And there was times last season when I probably doubted him. As I
Well,
said,
anybody that said they didn't have doubts after last year are absolutely lying, Josh.
aye, but you know what? He promised. He says, "You give me the tools and I'll deliver," and that's exactly what he's done. He's got his 14 points clear in the league. We've got the League Cup in the bag. We have made a lot of progress in European football. It's important in the new year that we try
I
and
knew I knew deal for the I knew deal for Brendan Rodgers, please damn it, and
uh,
the morning of January the 2nd would make my day. So
um, but I think it's been a really good year, and it's just important that we continue. Last thing, Alistair, who's your man of the match today?
it's hard today. I'm actually going to give it to Nicholas Kuhn.
Good. For me, I'm going to get Kyogo. I think I know Engel's got the sponsors man of the match. I thought he was really good as well. As I said, I thought he
Yeah,
could.
I don't think you could argue whoever got it, Josh.
Aye.
Can I just say, I don't know if you've seen the tackle on Hatate. It's a shocker.
For this,
It's
I
a
think it's a
shocker.
yellow. I think it's a yellow card. I don't think it's any sort of red. But Kyogo for me, I think it's I think he needed those 2 goals, and it's just really good to see him getting it. Because as I said, when we previewed the game other night, I think our strikers maybe not scoring enough as we'd like. So it's pleasing to see
Yeah, I
them get.
wanted Big Adam to get a goal, but,
Aye,
but obviously things. I mean, see, to be fair, I don't think St Johnstone were bad. I just think they got us in a particularly good level today.
Aye, but I think we were overall good. It's important that we move on to the new year. As I said, Celtic sit 14 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership going into the new year. We're back probably tomorrow with a video just looking back over Celtic's year and just talking about different moments where the season kind of twisted and turned. But we'll be back tomorrow, as I says. Until then, speak to you later and hail hail.
Well,